Hello, YouTube. Coming up on the finished product of the World War I German trench position. And I've still got some stuff to do in here. I want to add some more of this AK puddles, which I said before in my previous videos I'm not really a fan of. I think I liked this stuff better. Just mix some stuff in, you know, pour it in the cracks. But I'm going to finish with this. I did use this once before and it worked really well. It just didn't work very well on this one, so maybe it's just this. But yeah, I want to finish that up. And then I've got some more mud work to do. I've been using Vallejo mud. With the actual build-up, I've used the AK Terrain's Dark Earth. When it comes to the AK products and the Vallejo products, this stuff is good. But if you're wanting a mud effect, this is way better. So this looks more like topsoil. They kind of, I don't know, they have it on there. It looks like it's mud. I mean, you can see they look pretty close, but it's not. This looks more like mud. But like now I've used this light earth. I used that on my last diorama and it worked really well. I was pretty impressed with it. It did look like, you know, just dirt. But anyways, I gotta put some little bit of grass here and there on this one. Probably, you know, close to the sandbags and stuff. Would there have been grass there? Not very much, if there was at all. But I'll just do it just because. So that'll be a little bit later. But I'm going to take the time before I put mud on these figures to show you what they look like before I did that. So, like this guy right here, he's probably not going to get much mud besides his boots because I want him to look like he's brand new on the line. There's three guys actually that'll look this way. This is another one. They got their nice new helmets. Everything will look pretty clean with these three guys right here. And the rifle slings, that's just tooth floss. Again, I'll use that. Sometimes I use paint, but that's just tooth floss. Now this guy, I'm probably going to mud him up pretty good. He's going to look like he's been there for a while. He's been in the trenches a long time. He's a vet. He's got his wraps on instead of those boots. So, painted his helmet up to make it look a little bit different. And then here's our guy. He's feeding the ammo belt. And I'll probably have a good bit of mud on him. Now here's one of the guys that, you know, I want to make it look like he's been there for a while because he's got the old helmet, which ain't really much of a helmet. And that sling is also tooth floss as well, just wrapped around the back. Ooh, I gotta spray that back. That I ran some glue on that to keep that on there because there was a partial strap on this figure, so I had to run glue over top. I'm gonna have to put a little bit more dull coat on that one. But anyways, and then this guy, of course, he'll be the officer on the ladder. He's going to be mudded up pretty good. Oops. And then here's the other gunner. I don't know if you can see real well. I had to paint the red lines on his sleeves, on his, like right there by the buttons. Those buttons, I just used a Sharpie, a copper Sharpie marker to put those buttons on. That's a lot easier than trying to paint those. I've been doing that for a while now. Same whenever I do, you know, the silver. Like if there's a silver belt buckle or buttons, that's what I've been doing there too. Anything I gotta do here is add binoculars to this guy. I tried to make, pull it back. Tried to make that leather look a little rough. I mean, he's gonna look cleaner because he's an officer, but I'm gonna put a little bit of mud on him too. Here is the MG08. And then of course that's gonna go right there. And then the last figure I have here, before I mud him up, because he's gonna look like he's been there a while too, is this guy. So anyways, those are all the figures. The other thing I did is I did paint all the sandbags tan to give it more of a sandbag look. I put that ochre on first, you know, for the dark areas that I'm not really going to hit because it just gives good shading. And then, of course, there's some black too that I leave go. I don't really hit it too great. And then, yeah, I put that, I think it's African sand or desert sand over top of it. You could even probably go with Iraqi sand. And they're all Vallejo paints. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Desert yellow. I'm sorry. Desert yellow. That's what I used for that. And then ochre before that. And then the wood. That's just wood stain. And then some of this is the Tamiya brown panel liner. And that's just the Vallejo mud on top of that. I'm going to spin this. I did some more work on this. So I put some more wood in here to enclose it more and frame it up, because that's the way most of the pictures, I don't know, I mean, some of the pictures I've seen, they've had things framed, not exactly like this. They've had things framed up, and then other ones, they didn't have much of a frame at all. It's really amazing, because my thought was to enclose this a little better. That way they're not shooting through and hitting the guy feeding the ammo belt or hitting anybody behind. You know, you would think that's what they'd be going for. I may actually drill a few holes in here too. But that's not the case. I've seen pictures where they were like wide out in the open, which really surprised me. You know, they weren't built too great. And anyways, that was my thought, to frame it up. That way you didn't have too much of an area where bullets were passing freely through that area. But like I said, check out some pictures of these machine gun positions and you'll be amazed. They didn't really have much. It wasn't that great. Which, I mean, trench warfare wouldn't be that great anyways, but wow, some of the pictures that you'll see. And this one, compared to other ones I've done, this one looks like it's been battered a little bit and, you know, kind of falling in, mud sliding out, ladder ain't too great. But, you know, check out some real pictures of these trenches and you'll see that some of these trenches, like, didn't even have wood at all. It just looked like trenches, you know, just ditches, basically. So this is probably more of an upgrade. This wouldn't be a fresh one, but relatively fresh compared to some of the pictures that I've seen of both, you know, sides. So that, you know, I don't know. This is definitely one that doesn't look too bad. I'm going to show you this real quick. Okay, I'm going to take this AK puddles, because this is an area that actually bubbled up. And see the way that goes on? Got a lot of bubbles. But it actually bubbled up to the point where it came over the wood, and I had to cut it out and redo it. So that basically is the way you do it. And then we got an air bubble right there, which I'm going to try to pop out or move out. That's another thing too I've noticed with this. These air bubbles are a pain. They do not want to come out of there freely. You have to really work on them. Where the realistic resin water, that stuff, you can get the air bubbles out of that pretty quick. Where this one, you have to work on it. But let me kind of bring this down and zoom in on that area. I mean, it looks good, but my problem is it's like it works up on the boards. It does, and then it leaves like a V look. In the middle, there will be, it dips in. And you can really see that down through there. You can see that right there. See how that dips in? And that's my issue with this stuff. I mean, like I said, I'm just going to keep working with it because I've already started with it. But I think next time I'm just going to use resin water and mix a little bit of brown and green with it and just do it that way. And give it a better, I think it'll give it a better look. The only other thing that I'm probably not going to do with this, I've looked, at least I've looked for things, and I'm trying to remain as inexpensive as I can, because that's the whole thing, trying to do nice dioramas, build nice models, but trying to do it as cheap as possible, because, you know, this is not a cheap hobby anymore. But, you know, you try to do things, you know, as affordable as you can. I've looked up, tried to find World War I ammo crates and, you know, stuff like that to try to put on here, but I have not had any luck. I would actually have to make some myself. I'm probably not going to, but I thought it'd be great if you could stack ammo crates and stuff. I may try to cut some foam and stick it in the corner and then drape, some tissue or paper towel over it to make it look like it's covered. And at least that way it looks like there's some ammo, you know, crates, but they're covered. But anyways, that was one of the things that I would have liked to have done, but I couldn't find anything, unfortunately. It is a shame, because you'd like to do some things, but there isn't really a whole lot of stuff out there right now for World War I kits and dioramas and stuff. I don't know if it's just the demand, or, you know, it's just, I don't know, it has probably not as popular as World War II, you know, items that you buy. But it seems like most of the wars, you know, World War II, you can find a bunch of stuff. Modern military, you can find a bunch of stuff. But when it comes to anything else, it's very lacking. There's a, you know, a lack of those figures or vehicles and stuff like that. But so anyways, gonna finish this up. Oh, real quick, that's something else too. So let me do this. So the rifles, I just used tan, then went over and tried to make wood grain with brown, and then put the flesh tone over top of it, which is the flesh tone quick shader. That gave it that red look. Well, that's not really focusing up too good, is it? There we go. That's what I used, and I put over top of that, and then just sprayed it. Put the doll coat on it, and it seemed to work fairly good. And then the rest of the stuff is like a gray. I still got pieces to add to that. So I'm going to continue and then finish this up. And here we go. Okay, here it is. It's all finished up. I'll have pictures at the end that you can look at. But I put some of the grass on there. Used some more of the AK puddle stuff, you know, finished out all my puddles. They turned out okay. You've heard enough of me griping about that. Put all the weapons on all the guys, put the slings on, already went through that. The last part was the MG08. I just finished that up. The ammo belt, the weapon, painting that up. I made it look like there's some ammo boxes under a tarp with some grenades and a shovel, just some odds and ends laying around. But that's finishing up that weapon. Put a lot of mud on, you know, some of the guys, not so much on these three guys because they look like the new guys coming in. These guys got mud, you know, kind of here and there all over them. And I did put some of the dirt on top, like the dust, to make it look like some of it's starting to dry out. That way it's not too wet. I used a piece of wire for the hose that runs from that bucket up to that MG. And then I did put some bullet holes in the wood. So, but you can see what all happened there. Get a good look at everything. And that is about it. It's done. Ready to put on a shelf. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked this diorama. And if you do, please subscribe. Check out some more stuff that I do. Model reviews, toy reviews, dioramas, models, a little bit of everything. So thank you for watching. If you haven't already, thank a veteran, thank them for their service. Keep watching for the pictures, and God bless.